What's going on, YouTube? It's your boy, CamATL, and welcome back to another video. Thank you guys for watching. As always, drop a like down below and comment anything in the comment section. Enter your name into the $50 giveaway. I'm going to start doing a $50 giveaway every single week throughout NBA season. I'm going to randomly choose every Monday. Drop a comment down below in the comment section. Anything, doesn't really matter. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel and hit the bell notification next to subscribe so that I know that you are subscribing. Whenever I choose the winner on Mondays, I will be making sure that you're subscribing. And if you're not subscribed, I'll just pick another person. All right? Thank you guys for joining. As always, the winner for yesterday's giveaway, okay, for the $100 opening day giveaway was Carrington Lewis. So Carrington Lewis, you are the winner of the $100 opening day giveaway. Make sure you DM me on Twitter at cam_ATL so I can send that money right over to you. Thank you guys for joining as always, man. It was a great opening day, just kind of like preseason. We smashed opening day the same way we smashed all the preseason. So it was a great way to start it out for sure. But I'm ready to get into this high five. I've got, as you guys know, beginning of the day in the mornings, I'll put out the high five. I'll give you guys my core high five. This is in the beginning of the day, so as injuries and stuff evolve as the day goes on, things could change, but as of right now, I'm going to give you guys like the core that I like working with for this slate. All right, so let's start off at point guard. All right, I have a value play for the point guard position, and that's Killian Hayes. Killian Hayes is a guy that they're definitely high on. There's been a lot of talk about him throughout training camp and throughout the preseason, that Killian Hayes is going to be a big part of this team right here. Okay? Plain and simple. He's getting the start. It's a great matchup against D'Angelo Russell. You cannot go wrong playing any guards against D'Angelo Russell defense. Okay? This dude also is able to put up in multiple categories, as we could see throughout the preseason. It was all about amount of minutes for him when it came to success wise. But at 3'9", a guy who's starting against D'Angelo Russell defense, I really like Killian Hayes as a value play today at 3'9". He's a very solid option in my opinion. Um, Next up, let's go to power forward because Kevin Love is out, and we know what to do when Kevin Love is out. That's Larry Nance Jr. Now, Drummond came to town, so that's, not great for Larry Nance. But at the end of the day, with Kevin Love being out, that's the highest usage player on Cleveland being out, plain and simple. Okay? Now, this game could also get out of hand, and Larry Nance is not a guy they're going to, Cleveland in general is too thin to, sit anybody for. Maybe Drummond. If the game got really, really out of hand, maybe Drummond, but Larry Nance definitely isn't a player they do that with. I also do really like Drummond. I like Garland. I like some Cleveland players today because they are missing a good chunk of players. But with Kevin Love out, the main guy who benefits is Larry Nance and Andre Drummond. I really like Larry Nance a lot here going against Charlotte down low. It's a great, great matchup. Should be a fast-paced game with both of these teams being young teams. I'm really liking Larry Nance at 5'9". At center, Clint Capella is out for my Atlanta Hawks, so I gotta go my boy John Collins holding it down at the center spot, going against Wendell Carter Jr. Now, I do like Wendell Carter on the other side of this game as well, and this is a game that I'm really interested in, period, because both of these teams are fast-paced as well. Any teams going against Atlanta, you know they're in play. So Kobe White's in play, Zach LaVine's in play. Wendell Carter, who I just said is on the other side of John Collins, I'm down to play. Like, Chicago guys are very interesting to me because you always want to play against Atlanta 100%. This game in general, though, the main thing in DFS, like I've told you guys so many times, the main factor is taking advantage of injuries, taking care of added opportunity. Because at the end of the day, all of these players are in the NBA for a reason. They can all ball out. Every single one of them. The guys who ride the bench, okay? The guys who never see the floor would beat us without us scoring, most likely. Okay? So that's what I'm saying is, like, at the end of the day, these guys are professionals, and this is just, play them. All right? And especially with John Collins getting that added bump with Clint Capella, the new addition to Atlanta being out, I really love Collins down low against Wendell Carter's second-year player. All right? Now, another forward that I like. I love the forward position today. Sabonis is just too cheap. Sabonis is a guy that will be over 8.5 for most of the season. He's a guy who has a good solid usage rate. He puts up in many categories. He can do assists, rebounding, and points are his main two. He puts up in scoring category very easily. He rebounds a lot. This is at home in Indiana. Going against a rejuvenated New York squad, by the way. This New York squad is nothing to scoff at. Okay, they're pretty solid. Elfrid Payton's definitely got some major potential. R.J. Barrett's got some ways to improve, but he's definitely getting a lot better. Julius Randle's a beast. Like Obi Toppin's looking good already. Like these New York guys are actually they're very young. They play very fast, so that's a bump to the Pacers pace wise. Normally the Pacers are a slowish team, but I really like Sabonis getting this pace in this up tempo and pace going against Julius Randle defense, which Randle doesn't play defense. He's an offensive minded player. So I love Sabonis. I think he's going to eat down low at 7-4, and that just feels too cheap for me. Last but not least, at the guard position, Luka Doncic. All right. Luka is just feels like a fantastic option to me, man. I know that throughout the preseason we played him a few times because at the end of the day, even in limited minutes without Porzingis on the court, Luka's usage is just going to be ridiculous. Plain and simple. His usage is going to be the highest on this slate. Okay? It is going to be the highest on the slate. And on top of that, this is probably the game you want the most exposure to. Okay? So on the Phoenix side, Devin Booker's a little pricey, but I understand it in GPP. Chris Paul, DeAndre Ayton. Those guys, those main three guys are a core for the Phoenix side. And then you have on the Dallas side, Luka Doncic is the main one I want to interest in. I don't want a ton of interest in a lot of them, but Luka's going to ball out here. Opening day, no type of minutes hold up. Porzingis still off the court. Expect Luka to ball out. He's going to be dealing with Chris Paul and Devin Booker defense. Neither one of these guys can hang with Luka. One, Luka's just much bigger. Okay, plain and simple. Neither of them have a chance. Okay. Second off, Chris Paul used to be a very solid defender, but he's getting old. Plain and simple. He's not a guy you have to shy away from. And Devin Booker, plain and simple, just doesn't play defense. All right, so that just is what it is. So Luka Doncic in one of the best games of the night. I was torn. It took me a long time on this John Collins spot to end up on John Collins over Ayton. The only reason that I ended up going John Collins over Ayton is because John Collins is getting the bump without Clint Capella. Okay, he's getting an injury bump. Okay, but outside of that, Ayton is a fantastic option down low against Dallas as well. And like I said, this Dallas Phoenix game is a definite game that I want to get exposure to 100%. We have some decent value on the slate, like guys like Killian Hayes. Certain guys are just really, really cheap. Wendell Carter, if you decide to go that route and spend down. At the end of the day, these guys are just very, very well priced. So you're going to be able to get whatever studs you want. And at the end of the day, you got James Harden up at 10-4, but he's got John Wall and DeMarcus Cousins there now. Which, by the way, DeMarcus Cousins going against OKC, who moves Steven Adams, is definitely interesting to me. For GPPs, Giannis going against Boston. They added Drew Holiday and all that, but at the end of the day, Giannis was balling during the preseason. He looks like he's going to have a massive season. All right. Guys like Joel Embiid going against Washington. Don't need to explain it. Obviously, that matchup against Washington was always good. And now that Washington has Russell Westbrook, not only are they going to be fast-paced like they were last year and a team we always want to pick on, but they're actually going to keep games closer. All right. Karl Anthony Towns going against Detroit. Solid matchup for him, too. We've got plenty of studs on this slate, guys. Plenty of studs on this slate. It's about getting the right value, and in my opinion, one of my favorite values on this slate is right here in this high five, Killian Hayes. Going against, the dude just does not like to play defense. D'Angelo Russell does not play defense. He's an offensive-minded guy, plain and simple. He's not a lockdown defender by no means. So we got Killian Hayes, just plain and simple opportunity, amount of minutes that we're expected to see him play, what he can do in multiple categories. He can score, rebound, assist. He's a big focal point of this Detroit team in general. There was a ton of talk about him coming out of training camp and through the preseason. And going against Minnesota here is just a beautiful matchup. Larry Nance without Kevin Love, we know how that goes. At the end of the day, he is 5'9", but Nance has ridiculous upside. We know that. He's a guy who can drop 50 bombs. So without Kevin Love, it's definitely a great matchup against Charlotte. John Collins without Clint Capella. Really, really love that for him. Going against Wendell Carter on the other side. And I also do like Wendell Carter on the other side. And this center position is a tough decision to choose from because I mean, at the end of the day, you also have guys like I just talked about DeMarcus Cousins at center for Houston going against OKC without Steven Adams now. You've got great matchups on the board for center position, but John Collins is getting the injury bump with no Capella. I'm expecting this game to be fast paced. By the way, speaking of this game as well, Zach LaVine and Kobe White are amazing plays as well. I love both of those guys as well. Um, Zach LaVine's usage was really high. By the way, a value in this game. Lauri Markkanen's usage was very high throughout the preseason. So if that continues through to the start of this regular season, he's going to be a fantastic play as well because I believe he's under 5K. So really like that. And then we got Luka Doncic, still no Porzingis, best game of the night in my opinion, fantasy wise. And then Sabonis at home going against New York, dealing with Julius Randle defense, which in no way is something to be scared about at all. So absolutely love the high five. Good first look. Thank you guys for joining as always. Make sure you comment anything in the comment section to enter your name into the $50 giveaway. Let's continue smashing this season. Greenlightdfs.com. Join the squad. And I'm out. Peace.